Okay, so picture this. I want you to just imagine something for a second. You're behind the wheel of a car. It's dark. It's the middle of the night.
Okay.
You're driving through a part of the city that officially doesn't even exist anymore. Street lights are all broken.
So it's just pitch black?
The only light is from your dashboard, which, by the way, you modified yourself, and that's a felony. You've got this flash drive in your pocket that is worth more than your life. And what's on it? It's not secrets. It's not codes.
It's a rap album.
It's a rap album,
Yeah.
specifically one from the year 2025.
Right. A collection of songs from our near future that, in the world we're diving into today, is basically a weapon.
It's contraband. The punishment for having it is neural re-education.
It really does sound like a big sci-fi thriller, doesn't it? But this is such a unique piece of media we're looking at. We're doing a deep dive on the stellar Reveries of CAPY.
And it's fascinating because it has these two layers.
Exactly. On one hand, you have a concept album, tracks, lyrics, a whole vibe. But then there's this second layer, which is basically a lore Bible. It's like a history book for the year 2099.
And that's the hook for me. Usually when we analyze music, we're talking about the artist, what they meant. But here, we have to analyze the listener.
Yeah.
We have to figure out why this, standard party rap from our time about money, girls, all that, why does that become a revolutionary text 75 years from now?
That's our mission for this deep dive. We have to bridge that gap. We've got the source material for this, totalitarian 2099, and we have the lyrics from this artist, CAPY. We need to connect those dots. Why is listening to this guy an act of treason?
So, okay, before we even get to the music, we have to set the stage. If I'm living in this 2099, what's my life actually like? Because the documentation, it paints a picture that's, well, bleak is putting it mildly.
Sterile is the perfect word for it. The lore says that by 2099, nations are gone. Borders, governments as we know them, they've all dissolved.
And it's all just corporate sectors.
The entire world is divided into sectors owned by these massive corporations. It's the ultimate privatization of, well, everything.
Of existence itself.
Precisely. And the way they sold it was safety. After all the chaos of the mid-21st century, wars, climate collapse, people were just desperate for order.
So they let the machines take over.
They did. And now you have these megacities with this cold neon light, and all around them are the dead zones. Just abandoned areas where the grid is down.
And if you're living in the city, you are watched constantly. The sources talk a lot about the social credit score, the SCS. But this isn't just about getting a loan.
No, this is existential. The text calls it the algorithmic cage. I think that term is so evocative.
Perfect.
It decides your housing, your food, literally, the quality of the nutrient rations you can buy. It even controls if you can move. If your score drops too low, the subways just won't open for you.
You're physically locked in place by code. That is terrifying.
It is.
So it's not just a fine. You can actually be starved or trapped because an algorithm decided you weren't efficient. And what makes you lose points?
Oh, anything that disrupts efficiency. Dissent, obviously. But also just unpredictable behavior.
Like what?
Hanging out with people who have low scores, or even just showing too much emotion in public, you get flagged as unstable.
So you have to be a robot to get by.
You have to be a productive variable. That's the term they use. Humans are just numbers in an equation. And to keep it all balanced, you have the justice AIs.
Oof. I read that part. No judges, no juries.
Just immediate sentencing. A drone scans you, your heart rate is too high, it decides you're a threat, and bam, you're sentenced to neural re-education before you even know what happened.
Okay, so that's the physical reality. Trapped, watched, starved. But for me, the cultural reality was even more disturbing. Because even in dictatorships, you still have art, It might be propaganda, but it's still art.
Well, in 2099, creativity is basically outlawed. The corporations figured out that human creativity leads to unpredictable consumption patterns. Think about it. A sad song might make people sad, so they miss a work shift. An angry song might make them.
Riot.
Right. So to solve that problem, they just automated culture.
Which brings us to the curator.
The curator. It's the central AI that generates all entertainment, the whole synthetic media stream.
I love that name. Synthetic media stream. It sounds so harmless, like a playlist, but it's actually...
A cage for your mind. It's so insidious. The content is described as bland, non-explicit, and engineered for emotional stability.
It's designed to keep your heart rate down. Muzak for the soul.
Exactly. Just background noise to keep you docile while you work. So you have a society that has optimized all the humanity right out of people. No sharp edges, no loud noises, no deep feelings.
It's the low hum, and that is exactly where CAPY comes in.
Right, because his album, The Stellar Reveries of CAPY.
Mhm.
To us, you look at the track list, it looks like a pretty standard rap album. But in 2099,
It's contraband. It's an artifact from what they call the chaos era.
our time, a time when humans were messy, unregulated, loud,
Free.
and people in 2099 are risking everything just to hear it. The lore talks about a pirate radio station, TSRC.
The sonic resistance.
It's just a broadcast loop run by some rogue AIs and engineers hiding out in those dead zones, blasting this music out.
And I really want to focus on that character profile they included, the Night Runner, because that's what makes the stakes feel real to me.
Yeah, he's our window into this world. He's a smuggler, drives that retro-modded hover sedan, which means he's tinkering with tech, which is illegal.
And he's not using the official money.
No way. The official currency, CryptoScript, is tied to your biometrics. The government knows every single thing you buy. You can't buy Rebellion with that. You need ghost credits.
Untraceable. Mined on illegal server farms.
Exactly. It's the only way to buy privacy.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
Night Runner uses these ghost credits to buy CAPY records. For him, this music is a status symbol. It says, I'm off the grid. I have access to the old world.
So let's actually look at this old world music. We've set the scene. 2099 is a sterile nightmare. Now let's look at the lyrics the Night Runner is risking his life for. Because when I first read them, tracks like Money Tall Like Jordan, my reaction was, okay, this is just bragging. It's hedonism.
And on the surface, you're right. It's braggadocio rap. But you have to shift your perspective. You have to read these lyrics as someone who owns nothing and feels nothing.
Okay, right. Let's take Forever, Demon Hours. That hook is, I won't live forever, need to try it all.
Now think about that in 2099. The goal there is to keep you alive and working as long as possible. Longevity is everything. CAPY comes in and says, I don't care how long I live, I care how I live. He wants to try it all.
And then there's that one couplet, the freedom of choice was given to mankind, and kindness only started to decline.
That hits so hard because the 2099 government's whole argument is that they had to remove choice, remove freedom to restore safety, to protect us from ourselves.
And CAPY is saying, yeah, freedom makes us messy, it creates demons. But he's taking that deal.
He's saying the demons are worth it. I'd rather be a flawed human with free will than a perfect cog in a machine.
There are also a ton of drug references. We, on so many drugs, I just blaze. In our world, that's just party talk. But in a world where your body is constantly monitored.
It's a rebellion of the body, somatic rebellion. The source says 2099 citizens are on mandatory stabilizers to keep them calm. CAPY is talking about altering his own consciousness on his own terms.
Even if it's destructive.
Especially if it's destructive, it proves his body belongs to him.
Which brings us to live fast. The chorus is, we living fast, we pray that we don't crash.
Again, the total opposite of the 2099 ethos, that society is all about risk mitigation. Praying we don't crash means you're intentionally going fast enough that crashing is possible. You're taking the wheel.
Which is literally what the Night Runner's doing. He's driving his car, dodging drones, listening to this. The music is the soundtrack to his adrenaline.
It validates his danger. The synthetic media stream would tell him to pull over. CAPY tells him to floor it.
Let's talk about the money tracks. Money Tall Like Jordan, checks. To quote him directly, money from the ceiling make these bitches shake they ass.
It's vulgar, right? It's materialistic. But again, context. In 2099, you're born into a debt matrix. You can never own anything.
So when they hear CAPY bragging about constantly copying properties properly, he sounds like a king.
He sounds like a god. He has agency. He has resources. He's talking about investing in family when the family unit has been dismantled. The idea of money, power, respect, that's a fantasy of total control.
It's so wild here. Bragging about wealth can feel shallow. There, it's a revolutionary statement about private property.
And waste. He says, I let the money fall on the floor. To someone rationing nutrient pace, the idea of having so much you can just throw it away, that is the ultimate flex. It's freedom from scarcity.
I want to pivot to the aggression on the album. Tracks like Peligroso. He calls himself a villain with the AK-47. He says, I run this ship.
This is so important. In 2099, the hero is the compliant citizen, the person with the high social credit score. So if the system is the hero...
The rebel has to be the villain.
Exactly. CAPY, embracing that, gives the listener permission to be the bad guy. He says, willing to be a villain to stack millions. He accepts that his ambition makes him a criminal in the eyes of the law.
That's empowering for someone like the Night Runner.
For sure. He also says, I don't show no love. In this world, I sell the lust.
That line stood out to me.
Yeah.
I don't show no love. It sounds so cold.
It is cold. But it's honest, and the 2099 world is dishonest. The corporations pretend to care about you while enslaving you. CAPY is saying, no, the world is harsh, it's transactional, and I'm going to win.
It's that phrase he uses. It's a dog-eat-dog world, baby.
Yep. He acknowledges the brutality. AI lies and says the world is a nursery. CAPY says it's a jungle. And that honesty validates the suffering of people in the dead zones.
I think we're getting at something really deep here, which is the value of negative emotions.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about the AI filtering out instability. But there's a track, A Million of You, that's just pure heartbreak.
The breakup anthem? Mamacita, you split my heart in too much drama for me to stay with you.
And I'm losing my mind. I don't know what I'm going to do.
That kind of vulnerability is strictly illegal in 2099. The source material talks about a black market for something called memory bricks. Did you see that?
Yeah, they're like recordings of old emotions.
Right. People pay a fortune in ghost credits to plug in and feel real sadness or real rage for an hour because their own lives are so numb.
So this track, it basically functions like a memory brick.
Exactly. Hearing a grown man admit he's losing his mind over a woman proves he's human. He isn't a productive variable, he's a mess, he's irrational. To a listener in 2099, feeling heartbreak through this song is probably the most alive they feel all week.
It connects back to that idea of messiness. The album is full of contradictions. He wants love, then he shows no love. He's a villain, then he's heaven sent.
And algorithms hate contradictions. Code requires consistency. But humans, we're hypocrites. We contain multitudes. CAPY captures that. That complexity is what the algorithmic cage tries to iron out.
There's one track that I feel is like the philosophical anchor for the whole thing. Too much hype.
Oh, absolutely. This is the turning point.
The lyrics go, I ain't the type for the hype. And then the kicker, my destiny is all in control.
Destiny in control. If you said that out loud at a sector checkpoint, you'd be arrested.
Because the algorithm controls your destiny.
Because the system controls it. The system teaches you your path is set by your utility score. CAPY is rejecting the hype, all the corporate propaganda, and looking inward.
It's almost stoic. Amidst all the noise, he centers himself. I know my soul, so my destiny is all in control.
It's a reclamation of the self. And notice the line, they want the cake, I want the factory.
Oh, that's good.
In 2099, the corporations own the factory. They own the means of production. CAPY isn't satisfied with just a slice of cake or ration, a payout. He wants ownership. He wants to build his own world.
That's a dangerous idea to put in the head of a worker drone. It shifts the whole album from being just about consumption to being about power.
Exactly.
I just keep thinking about the Night Runner in his car listening to this. The music is loud. It's bass heavy.
It's physical.
Yeah.
You have to remember the environment. The megacities are described as quiet, orderly.
So just making noise is a political act.
It's sonic warfare, reclaiming physical space with sound. When you blast Call Me CAPY, where the chorus is just him screaming his own name, you're asserting your existence. You're saying, I am here, I am loud, you can't ignore me.
It's territorial. Man, I run this shit. In a world where you don't even own your apartment, that's radical.
So radical.
So stepping back from the lore for a minute, we're looking at this from our time. We don't have an algorithmic cage yet.
Yet is the key word there.
But we have algorithms suggesting what to listen to. We have credit scores. We have surveillance. We track our steps, our calories.
The world of 2099 isn't a fantasy. It's an extrapolation. It's what happens when our obsession with optimization and efficiency goes all the way.
That's the scary part. The 2099 world solved the problems. No crime, no hunger, no sadness, because the art is safe.
But the cost was the spark. The cost was the human spirit.
So the Skeller Reveries of CAPY is kind of a warning. It's suggesting that if we optimize our lives too much, we lose the demon hours.
We do, and maybe we need the demon hours. The album argues that humanity is defined by its edges, by its excesses, by the things that aren't safe.
The bubblegum and hard dick line.
As crude as it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it's visceral. It's real. It's not a simulation.
It's funny, if I heard Pelagroso on Spotify today, I might skip it. Think, oh, okay, this guy's full of himself. But when you put it in a context where the individual has been erased, just saying, I am a distinct person who wants things, becomes the most profound statement you can make.
It goes from ego to ethos. It becomes a defense of the human soul.
I won't live forever. Need to try it all. That's the thesis statement.
It is. In 2099, the goal is to survive. CAPY's goal is to live. He rejects the duration of life for the intensity of life.
And that's why the Night Runner risks it all for these records. Because a life without that intensity, it isn't a life. It's just data processing.
And he refuses to be data.
This has been a fascinating journey. We went from a fictional future back to a recording booth in 2026. It really changes how you hear the music. It makes you appreciate the ability to just make a mistake, to be messy.
It's a great reminder that perfection is often a trap.
So here's the thought I want to leave you with today. We're constantly being pushed to optimize everything. Our sleep, our diets, our work. We want to be better, cleaner, more efficient. Just like the corporations in 2099.
It's a slippery slope toward that algorithmic cage.
So, in a world where safety is becoming mandatory, is that messy, destructive, loud human behavior actually the ultimate proof of our humanity? Is the ability to make a bad choice, to drive too fast, to stay up too late, to fall for the wrong person, is that the most valuable thing we have?
It's definitely a question worth asking the next time you hear a song that makes you want to break the speed limit.
Thanks for diving deep with us.